about something which is very close to my heart. Implementation of this has proved extremely beneficial and efficient in my previous workplaces. I'm not here to preach or teach anything. What I would like to do is share my personal experience with you, and I hope that some of what I say will create a positive impact on some of you in some way. What I'm going to talk about today is the modern day budget, its measurement techniques, and its impact. If you would listen to my points, and probably some of you feel that you're already incorporating this in your present day business. In that case, I will say fabulous. I wholeheartedly applaud that, and I can vouch for the fact that you're on the right track. However, if you're not implementing it, please have a listen and maybe consider this implementation, because I can assure you that there will be an immediate impact in the improvement of your efficiencies. Traditionally, budget has always been a finance domain. When I joined the workforce 20 plus years ago, financial budgeting, the annual financial budgeting was a dirty exercise which used to be taken care by the finance and accounts team with very little factual input from the sales and operations team. As a result, the budget was a purely number-driven exercise based on historical range of data, some general factors of growth being built in, and subsequently just a one-dimensional budget which is purely financial from all aspects. Once the budget was approved by the senior management, then the required planning was worked upon in order to deliver the budget. So that meant that all sorts of strategic and tactical plans were put into place once the budget was finalized. Invariably, there were disgruntlement about the budget numbers because it's been created by the finance team, and the delivery of or the expectations of meeting the numbers were with somebody else. If there were real problems in meeting those numbers, the blame was well and squarely put on the finance team's shoulder. If I had a $10 bill every time that I heard that it's the unrealistic budget which was the creation of this inefficient finance team, I would be a multimillionaire by now. In fact, some of those complaints were actually justified because the budgets tended to be unrealistic. And unrealistic budget is not just detrimental for the sales and operations, it's detrimental for the entire company. I mean, imagine creation and spending for the infrastructure that is required for an unrealistic budget, and then suddenly realize that, oops, we are nowhere close to achieving these numbers. Hence, I had always pondered about how can we work towards a budget which has the buy-in of people from all around the company, and therefore everybody is working towards the achievement of that with a synergistic effect. The answer to that problem was actually quite simple. The budget planning has to cease to be a finance activity alone and has to be a collaborative effort. Do not get me wrong. I'm not saying that the budget responsibility has to move away from finance. But finance's responsibility now is to deliver a budget which is built in conjunction with all stakeholders, and therefore a budget which has the best chance to succeed. It is also the finance responsibility to measure the budget, the competence of the budget, and give a heads up to the management about the returns that this budget is going to give or generate for the company. What does this mean? It means that now the budget creation has to get distributed over a lot of people. Therefore, the budget input activity has to be broken down over a number of activities for which each activity has an activity owner. For example, the sales and margin input will remain the domain of the sales and operations team. They will have to put in numbers that are challenging, that they conform to the top management directive, and at the same time reflective of the market situation and the business scenarios. Once they present these numbers with conviction and with justification and get them approved, after that, the delivery of those numbers should be pretty straightforward for them. There can always be some exigent contingencies which can affect the delivery of these numbers, but by and large, the hitting of the budget numbers should not be a problem. In similar veins, the marketing team should be responsible for the plotting of the selling and marketing overheads. The HR team should guide the input of HR-related costs, and so on and so forth. In this process, we will see that the ad hoc number input is not going to be easy. And therefore, the planning for the budget period will be starting now in order to get the real numbers. And this is what you want. You don't want the business to start planning in the next budget period once the numbers have been finalized. You want them to have a plan ready and which simply needs to get executed once the budget period starts. There's no need to set out the blueprint once you're entered the new budget year. The blueprint is already with you. All it may require are a few tweaks. Now, therefore, finance has to create this budget model which has these attributes. Budget can be Excel-based, it can be a moderate budget tool which is brought off the shelf, or it can be an elaborate budget software which is customized to the company's requirement. Whatever is the case, the planning needs to be made simpler for the activity owners. Therefore, the data that is provided for the planning purpose has to have the historical data, the trend analysis, the seasonality information. In short, all the key information that would be required for an effective planning. Even the data entry into the budget software or Excel, whichever is the preferable mode, has to be made easy for the user. For example, if somebody wants to change the, say, sales numbers for a certain period by a percentage, they should be able to just select it, click on the percentage, and it should change. If somebody wants to add an head count, all they need to do is select the position, select the month of the additional head count, and based on the HR guided input, all the relevant HR costs should get plotted. There are literally n number of possibilities that is possible now with the present day budget situation, and especially with the budget software that is available, the possibilities are literally endless. Now comes the measurement criteria. Now, traditionally, again, most of the times budget has been evaluated on the revenue and the net profit basis. But there are many other elements that are actual measurement criteria for the budget. But the one that I believe is most effective is the return on capital employed basis, the ROCE method. I am not belittling the other parameters, they're all important, but I think using ROCE effectively is a very good indicator of how well the company is performing and how the value is getting added towards the shareholders or the owners of the company. The beauty of ROCE measurement is that if you have a good mechanism by which the relevant costs of the different components of the company are attributable and identified, then the ROCE can be calculated at various levels. For example, the ROCE need not be calculated only at the company level. The ROCE actually can be calculated at division level, product line level, customer level, agency level. In fact, once the habit of measurement by ROCE is well entrenched, then it is possible even during the planning phase to go down into the granular level and see which are your inefficient areas. So therefore, if you do an ROCE calculation while you're planning, it might throw out to you that this product line is inefficient, or this customer is inefficient, or this particular agency is inefficient. Therefore, even at the planning stage, you are capable of taking the right measures in order to fix those inefficient areas, or if need be, drop those inefficient areas in order to make the company more profitable and more efficient. In conclusion, I will try and summarize my talk in a few sentences. Budget needs to cease to be a one-dimensional model. It has to be multidimensional with input from various parts of the company, various departments of the company, and the ownership of delivering the budget has to be on everybody who's working for the company, which can only create a synergy effect. Budget has to be done in a systematic manner on a well-designed tool. The tool can be Excel-based or a software-based, that's up to the company. And budget should be measurable, not only from a revenue and net profit point of view, but also from an efficiency and returns perspective. Once these are in place, we will find that a very effective, well-planned, and realistic budget is being created, and with which the roadmap to success will already be well navigated. I'm ready to take on any questions. I'll be hanging around, so if you want to catch up sometime later, it's fine. I wish you all a very good day. Thank you.